Triple threat made for World Heavyweight Belt.
Drew McIntyre attacks Sami Zayn again.
And New Day booed out the building. Hello, welcome to Wrestle MSX. I'm Michael.
I'm Sally.
And the ring general started us off by saying that Finn Balor had made a grave mistake when he's interrupted by Balor and the rest of Judgment Day. Balor claimed he'll walk out of Saturday night's main event as the new World Heavyweight Champion. Gunther said he used to respect Finn, but that respect faded when he started hanging around with a bunch of weirdos in a clubhouse and playing second fiddle to Damian Priest. There's one reason why you won't win on Saturday. You're not on my level and you never will be, exclaimed Gunther. The Judgment Day then step up onto the apron, and just as they're about to enter the ring, Damian Priest heads out, taking them all out. He throws Balor down and attacks him, which is followed by an attack by Gunther. With Balor dealt with, Gunther and Priest then turn on each other. The two end up fighting outside the ring, with the ring general about to powerbomb Priest through the announcer's table, when Balor makes a comeback with a sling blade and shotgun drop kicks Gunther. Balor tosses Priest back into the ring and coup de grace Gunther from the apron, while the rest of the Judgment Day lay beat down on Priest back in the ring. Balor then finishes Priest off with 3 coup de grace before raising his tag title and the World Heavyweight Championship. If you didn't mind that, then please don't forget to give us a subscribe while you're here. It'll help us out a lot. Thank you.
Back from the break, and the Judgment Day backstage are celebrating their beatdown of Gunther and Priest when Adam Pearce walks up to them saying that the title match on Saturday night has changed. Instead of Balor versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, it will now be a triple threat match between Gunther, Balor and Damian Priest.
Which I think makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Next up, Final Testament, Karrion Kross, AOP and The Miz with Scarlett against the Wyatt Six in an 8-man tag. The Six made their way to the ring, took their entrance gear off and then stormed the ring, clearing Final Testament out in seconds. When we come back from the break, we find AOP double-teaming Gacy, who's being kept in the opposition's corner. AOP then double powerbomb Rowan, who was finally tagged in by Gacy. Gacy and Loomis come to his aid though and clear out AOP, with Rowan then able to tag in Howdy, who now goes to work on The Miz, who was tagged in earlier. Miz ends up near his corner where Kross tags himself in, and finally we get what we wanted, Kross versus Howdy. Well, kind of. Howdy clothesline Kross out the ring and sets up to dive after him, but Scarlett trips him. As she basks in her own glory, Nikki Cross appears, scares the out of her and then beats her up. Meanwhile, Kross makes his way back into the ring and is about to be Sister Abigail'd when Miz makes the save. As he gloats on the outside, Howdy chokes him with a mandible claw, but as he does, Paul Ellering makes an appearance, blinding Howdy with some kind of white powder. This sends Howdy reeling back into the ring, where Karrion hits the final prayer and pins Howdy for the win. In my opinion, underwhelming comes to mind. I think we saw Kross do one move, his finisher, so he gives it the big one online, but in the ring, absolutely nothing. And that was it. It's like the wheels have come off the Wyatt Six movement.
Yeah.
I can't really explain it. It's just odd how it's playing out. This destructive force is no longer a destructive force.
Because I don't think they've actually won, have they?
I think they beat Gable in his American Made, and then Gable clearly learned his lesson.
Yeah.
And now we've got them after Final Testament, and they've just beat them.
Yeah, and The Miz repented, but then turned on him.
So whatever message,
I don't know what's going on there.
Whatever message the Wyatt Six are sending, nobody's listening. And to be honest, I think the build up to it was amazing.
It's so good, yeah.
Don't get me, it was absolutely amazing. But now they're just boring.
Yeah.
No, they just. I'm not looking.
I don't want to say that because I don't want it to be.
No, I
yeah.
don't. No, I'm not looking forward to their matches. It's like, oh, they've been beaten again.
Yeah.
I don't know. And more, I mean, the bloodline thing I think has overshadowed absolutely everything.
Yes.
To be fair,
100%,
I think that's so massive.
Such a good storyline.
And you're trying to bring in a new faction.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the Giovanni Vinci thing.
Who?
There you go.
We move on to CM Punk giving a sit-down interview with Jackie Redmond, which was recorded earlier in the day. She asks about this favour he's going to call on Paul Heyman for, to which Punk declines to comment. Redmond then asks about Seth Rollins. Punk says he's more confused than anything and finished by saying everything he's done it before Seth and better than him. And now that the starter's back, it's time for the second string to sit back down on the bench.
Dakota Kai versus Liv Morgan next. Kai takes it to Morgan before Morgan launches Kai over the top rope, sending her crashing to the outside. As soon as she does though, we need to take a break. But when we come back, Morgan is performing the Three Amigos when Pure Fusion Collective, name just drips off the tongue, head out. Morgan doesn't manage the third Amigo, Kai does, and then proceeds to beat up Morgan, trying for a pin, but only getting a 2 count. Fusion then try to intervene, but get beaten off the apron by Kai, who then goes for a big boot on Morgan. Morgan ducks it, hits Oblivion, and that's all she wrote as Liv goes for the cover and gets the 1-2-3. After the match, of course, PFC enter the ring and beat up Kai. Sky and Zayn head out for the save, with Zayn hitting a crossbody to the outside on the Collective. While Sky's watching the action, Morgan heads back into the ring and hits her with an Oblivion, clearly sending a message ahead of their title match at Saturday night's main event.
We hear from Drew McIntyre next, and he admitted it was him who took out Jey Uso last week, and it was because he stood with CM Punk at Survivor Series. It's also the same reason he attacked Sami Zayn, which is something we alluded to anyway. You stand with Punk, then you instantly become a target for Drew. On the back of this, Jey Uso is not medically cleared to appear on Raw this week.
No yeet. Backstage, we see Cody Rhodes emerge from Adam Pearce's office. As he does, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods walk by. Rhodes says they should be ashamed of themselves. Woods smirks as the two carry on walking.
Seth Rollins out now, wearing Cookie Monster's arms, and encouraging the crowd to chant for CM Punk. Seth said that Punk's been playing the victim his entire life, and that he once respected him, and that they were indeed friends. It transpired that when Punk left WWE all those years ago, Seth messaged him with Punk never replying, and that if your priorities don't line up with Team Punk, then you were evil. Seth said that Punk burned every bridge and that he came back because the money was right, before calling him a fraud and adding that he did the one thing Punk could never do: main event WrestleMania. Sami Zayn then headed out and entered the ring. Seth warns Sami not to defend Punk before Sami says he was wrong to assume it was Seth that dropped Jey backstage last week and apologises.
It makes a change for somebody to apologise.
It does. Sami goes on to say that he shouldn't have got involved between Punk and Seth, and that from here on out it's their business and to deal with it how he wants. Sami then asks if they're good. Seth says they are and reminds Sami that he seems to have business with Drew. Seth leaves, with Sami then addressing the crowd. Zayn says that he's not going to let Drew drag this out and that he's spoken to Adam Pearce, who's organised a match for Saturday night's main event between the two of them. As Sami makes his way back up the rampway, McIntyre attacks, getting a few hits before being pulled away by backstage staff. Drew stands laughing at a beaten Zayn as we head for a break.
Time for some more in-ring action now, as we have Ivy Nile, Zelina Vega and Lyra Valkyria in a triple threat match in the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament first round. Within seconds we get a 619 from Vega on Valkyria and then a pin attempt on Valkyria by Nile. Back from the break, we watch as Valkyria takes out both Nile and Vega, who are outside the ring, before throwing Nile back in the ring and hitting her with a Tornado DDT, love that move, and a Fisherman Suplex, the resulting cover only getting a 2 count. Bit of a botched job then, as it seemed Nile was supposed to get Valkyria in a pinning position, with Vega breaking it from the middle rope. Only Nile had Valkyria in a pinning position that long that the ref stopped counting, so Vega could ready herself on the rope and then launch her swanton, breaking the pin. Nile caught Vega, who tried a crossbody from the middle rope, slammed her down and got a 2 count, with Lyra breaking the pin. A double German suplex by Nile looked good before Vega hit Code Red on Nile and into a pin. Valkyria drop-kicked Vega, breaking the pin, before hitting Nile with Nightwing. Lyra followed up with the cover and took home the victory, progressing to the next round. Good for her. Yeah, I like her.
I like her as well. Just before we head to the break, we go backstage to see Rhea Ripley getting a pump on before her Anything Goes match with Raquel Rodriguez next.
We come back with Kathy Kelly speaking with the New Day. She asks them what the intention was of publicly berating Big E last week. Kofi responds by saying, "Why would you ask the question like that?" with Kofi saying they're going to speak with the people they really need to talk to. Woods then takes the camera from a cameraman and follows Kofi out to the ring. He puts the camera down as he gets to the ring steps though, and then follows Kingston into the ring. What was the point of the camera? I don't know. The crowd chant "New Day sucks" and then boo as Kofi tries to speak. Woods then tries to speak but gets the same reaction. If it's heat they wanted, it's heat they've got.
Definitely.
The two decide in the end to give up, so drop their mics and exit the ring.
So, here we go, last match of the night. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in an anything goes match. Should have really saved this for tonight's main event.
Yeah, why not?
Rhea wastes no time running up the rampway as Rodriguez makes her way out, with the two then fighting off into the crowd. Ripley uses a bin on Rodriguez as the two head back towards the ring, which is already adorned with kendo sticks and chairs. The two women then get in the ring, the bell rings, and the match is officially underway. Ripley missile dropkicks Rodriguez from the top rope, sending Raquel out of the ring, before getting a table out from under the ring. As she does, Rodriguez pushes her into the ring post before fall-away slamming Mommy over the announcer's desk. We come back from yet another break to find both women laid out on the canvas. A replay shows it occurred after giving each other a big boot. Ripley recovers first, but Rodriguez drops her onto the top turnbuckle and gets a 2 count cover.
Rhea hits Rodriguez with a chair, then stacks 3 of them on top of one another to hit a riptide on Rodriguez onto the chairs. Just as she's about to pull the trigger though, Morgan heads out, gets on the apron and gets pulled into the ring by Ripley. With Rhea distracted, Rodriguez big boots her, slams her down onto the stacked chairs and then covers her for a 2 count. Morgan then intervenes again, stopping Rhea from hitting a riptide on Rodriguez, with Rodriguez escaping the ring. Rhea gives chase, but Morgan manages to hit Oblivion on the Terror Twin. As she gloats, outruns Io Sky, who missile drop kicks Morgan from the top rope, sending her to the outside. Sky follows up with a dive to the outside. Back in the ring, Rodriguez covers Rhea, with Rhea kicking out on 2. Rodriguez then sets up a table in the ring and heads back over to Rhea to Gina Bomber through it. Ripley escapes the move and then riptides Rodriguez through the table instead. Rhea pins Raquel for the win as Raw goes off the air, with Rhea and Io Sky both holding the Women's World Championship. It seems to me that they're pushing Saturday night's main event quite heavily.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Drew versus Sami, and now we've got a triple threat for Gunther's belt. So that's 3 belts on the line. And with SmackDown to come, there's possibly more to come.
More than likely, yeah. Any comments or views you'd like to share, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section below.
And there's a good chance we will get back to you. Again, thank you for watching.
And we'll see you Saturday for SmackDown.